Welcome to the Trojan Windup. I'm Ty Hawkins, bringing you all the highlights of Week 1 of the 2016 season. The Trojans opened the year with a 3-game series at home against the Fighting Hawks of North Dakota. Game 1 was a pitcher's duel with Trojan ace Kyle Davis going up against Hayden May. USC threatened in the first with Frankie Rios singling and advancing to third with 2 out, but the Trojans couldn't get him in. North Dakota had a chance of their own in the third when Ben Resnicek made it to third with 1 out. But Davis struck out Miles Lewis and got Tyler Robles to ground back to the pitcher to escape the jam. The game remained scoreless until the 6th when the Hawks scored on a 2-out double by Brett Harrison. Davis was able to shut down the Hawks after that, going 8 innings and striking out 10, but May retired the last 15 Trojans he faced to give North Dakota a 1-0 win. Game 2 featured Brett Wheatley versus Brett DeGagne, and the Hawks struck first, scoring 1 in the first inning. But USC came back in the second. After David Oppenheimer left off with a single, AJ Ramirez tied the game with a double to left and eventually came around to score on a sac fly by Lars Nootbaar. North Dakota retook the lead in the 4th on solo homers by Connor Trigstad and Daniel Lockhart, but the Trojans answered in their half of the inning, scoring Oppenheim on another Nootbaar sac fly.
First pitch lifted towards left field. A few steps back now coming in is Lewis. Oppenheim tagging. He'll go for home. Trojans are getting aggressive. The throw into Harrison is up the first base line, and Oppenheim comes across to score.
The North Dakota offense would keep the pressure on, adding a pair of runs in the 5th, making the score 5-3. USC would get 1 back in the 7th. After a leadoff single by Nootbaar, he would make his way to third with 1 out.
Fastball driven towards center field. Bresnahan takes a few steps back. It'll score the runner from third. Armenta tagging. The cutoff throw is not going to be in time to get him. Martinez does his job. The Trojans plate their 4th run of the game.
Jeremy Martinez hit a sharp line drive to center, bringing Nootbaar and cutting the Hawks' lead to 1. The Trojans would get the tying run into scoring position in both the 8th and 9th, but couldn't get that clutch hit and ended up dropping the second game of the series by a score of 5-4. On Sunday, USC would need a win to avoid the sweep, and they sent Bernardo Flores against McKay McNair. Just as they did the day before, the Hawks would score on a run in the 1st, but USC came back with a run of their own in the bottom of the inning on an RBI single by Dylan Paulson. In the 2nd, a leadoff single by Rios led to the sac fly by Nootbaar, his 3rd RBI of the weekend, and the Trojans had a 2-1 lead. There were more USC fireworks in the 3rd. Martinez led off the inning with his first career triple. Ramirez singled home, bringing up Paulson. A ground out by Adalberto Carrillo made the score 4-1, and then a 2-out single by Rios scored Paulson, and the Trojans had a 5-1 lead. But the Hawks showed the same fight as they had all series, using a couple of 2-out hits to score 3 in the 5th, cutting the USC lead to 1. Then, in the 6th, another pair of 2-out hits plated 2 more runs for the Hawks, and they had retaken the lead 6-5. The Trojans would be given a chance to tie it in the 7th. After a leadoff single by Martinez, a sharply hit ball by Paulson would tie up the North Dakota second baseman, resulting in an error and runners at the corners with 1 out. Carrillo attempted a squeeze up the first baseline, but was called out when the ball contacted him in fair territory. Now, with 2 outs, it would take some aggressiveness by USC to tie the game.
Robinson awaits the 0-1 from Radmacher. Fastball gets away. It's going to go all the way to the backstop along Karam. The play at the plate, safe as Martinez gets just under the tag from Radmacher. The ball took a favorable Karam for North Dakota. Martinez slides under the tag, and USC ties it at 6.
Martinez would get in just under the tag to tie the game at 6. North Dakota would get a runner to third in the 9th, but closer Mark Huberman would strike out Lockhart to keep the game tied, setting the stage for a potential walk-off win for the Trojans. Ramirez would lead off the inning with a single, then Paulson would sacrifice him to second. After a flyout to Carrillo, Timmy Robinson would step up to the plate with a chance to be the hero.
2-0, Ramirez driven to the gap, that's going to do it. Timmy Robinson will be the hero this afternoon. His first hit of the season is a big one. AJ Ramirez comes to score from second as he's able to walk across the plate as Robinson is mobbed by his teammates around first. Timmy Robinson pulls one out of his back pocket.
It was Robinson's first hit of the weekend, but it couldn't have come at a better time as the Trojans took Game 3 7-6. This week, the Trojans hit the road with a 6 p.m. game at Loyola Marymount on Tuesday night, followed by an exhibition game against the NC Dinos, a South Korean professional team, at Dato Field on Wednesday at 6:30. Then, next weekend, USC hosts the Wake Forest Demon Deacons for a 3-game set, 6 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and 1 on Sunday. All home games will be broadcast on USCTrojans.com. Thank you for tuning in to the Trojan Windup. I'm Ty Hawkins, and we'll see you next time. Fight on.